My name is Sue Goddess, I wanna hear you say it. Don't have time for drama, I'm out here trying to make it. What goes on through my mind is different.
Hey everybody, welcome back to The Goddess Has Spoken, Tales with Sue or whatever you're gonna call it this time. I see that y'all really enjoyed that shit. The last one that I made, and I didn't expect to get as many views as I got. I got about 75 views. I know that's not much, but to me, shit, y'all don't understand how nervous that I am doing this because I am not that open of a person to sit up and just tell the whole world some shit like this. So yeah, but I really am thankful for the support and thank you for the subscribers and the new people. And yeah, so let's come on get into it. Let me not get to talking too much. Um, so back to the story where I left off. I know I said something about that I went back to Chicago after the car had broke down and shit. So boom, I ended up going back to Chicago. So I went back and it was like fucking December. And when I went back, I ended up going to stay over with my dad and things were very rocky. He was just looking for every reason for me to leave his home because I don't know. It's just, I don't know. As I got older, the longer that I stayed, it's like he just kind of was like, all right, it's time for you to get the hell up out of my house. And I wasn't even really doing much or nothing for real, but it just got to a point where he just didn't want to, I guess, teenager living in there with him and his wife and stuff like that. And so whatever. So me and my now husband and child's father, we are high school sweethearts. So we ended up, rekindling around the time and we decided to, be friends and shit like that and get cool. And boom, we end up dating or whatever. So we end up dating and then the first chance my father got, he tried to push me off on him. Like, he was asking me to stay with him and I was like, I don't, I'm not comfortable staying with people, especially after what had just happened in Atlanta. There was only a couple months before I got back. So shit, I wasn't ready for that. It was too fresh for me. And my dad was trying to push me off on him to go stay with the guy. And then my dad looked me dead in my face and told me that if he just so happened to turn out to be like the last guy, that if he put his hands on me, that he wouldn't do anything about it because apparently he's too big or whatever. So yeah, my dad told me that to my face, that he would not help his daughter if something like that happened. So it just kind of got worse with me and my father from there, and he would just do a lot of just bogus stuff. He's very neglectful. He started becoming physically fucking abusive, like putting his hands on me and shit. So I ended up getting to a point where I just couldn't take anymore, and I ended up leaving and staying with my guy after a couple of months. And after me and him started staying together, boom, I get pregnant, y'all. So I get pregnant, and once I got with him, this is a whole nother story, y'all. So you know how you're supposed to have the families mingling and shit like that once you get together, and everything was cool back in the day in high school and shit, but then now that we back rekindle, bitches be weird. So it's like his grandma and his auntie and them started acting real funny towards me because me and my boyfriend at the time's mother were so fucking tight. I ain't never been so tight with someone in my whole life, y'all. Like, we was closer than me and my mother, me and my sister, me and anybody. Like, we was tight as hell. And we would hang out all the time. And I guess that he was, my boyfriend at the time, he was more so into going and hanging out with his people a lot, his auntie and grandma every day. But when I started coming around, his mother enjoyed my company so much that she would want me to come over all the time. So we would go over there damn near every fucking day, and we wouldn't spend time with his grandma and them like that. And then when we would go around his grandma and his auntie, they would sit there and they smiling and cheesing in my face, and then the second I turn my back, they're calling me weird and shit. Then they started coming up with all this bullshit, talk about, oh, I got pregnant so fast, the baby's not his, and all this old silly shit. So then y'all, and I'm telling y'all this because y'all gonna understand in a few minutes. So they get to talking all this crazy shit, and then boom, the mom dies. His mom died, and it kind of broke my fucking heart because we were so close, and then like it hurted me to see all this shit. It was just all bad. And then once she ended up passing away, everybody just kind of turned shit like towards me now and started manipulating us and getting inside of our heads. And she would tell him that, oh, I'm cheating on him. She's telling me that he's cheating on me. He's doing he said, she said shit. And of course, he's her fucking grandma. So if she telling me this shit, I'm just like, oh, damn, this the grandma. So she probably know. And then, of course, he up in his head like, well, this my grandma. So she probably, we both thinking the same fucking thing. So bitches sitting up getting in our heads and trying to, break us apart. And it came to a point where once I was towards the end of my pregnancy, after she caught him at that vulnerable state, she ended up, like I said, starting to tell him, hey, don't buy anything for the baby. Don't do this. Don't do that for the baby because you don't know if it's yours or not. First of all, you could tell in the 3D ultrasounds that the baby is motherfucking his, bitch. Second the fuck of all, there ain't no hoe in my motherfucking blood, bitch. I know who the fuck I've been, doing it with. So, before I get pissed off, let me just, anywho. Sorry, y'all. I get so upset when I have to relive this shit. Y'all just gotta work with me. So, yeah. So, we ended up, boom, having the baby. And he was there and he saw, this is your child. Like, she spot on, came out looking exactly like him. So then she gets to talk about, oh, y'all need to get a DNA test. Oh, y'all need to do this. Y'all need to do that. All this and that. Y'all ain't even been together that long. And she popped up pregnant and shit. So she ended up talking some shit in his ear and making him leave me for like the first 5 months of my first child's life. But like I said, manipulation is a motherfucker. I don't know if any of you have ever been manipulated the way that we have been manipulated, but some people play that shit really good. And it's just like voodoo, because voodoo is real as hell. And I don't know if that bitch is doing dibbling dabbling in that shit or what, but I know that it get in your head and it works. Like y'all don't understand. So while he was gone, before he left, we ended up getting into it because of her, of course. After we got into it, he decides, because he thinking that his people got his back and shit, he ends up calling his auntie, and his auntie going with what the grandma is saying because nobody fucking believes me because they barely know me at this fucking point. And man, they ended up, the auntie, so he calls the auntie and he tells her, hey, let her know that this wasn't going on or whatever. So the auntie is like, let me talk to her. And I just knew something wasn't right. And I said, nah, I'm not going to take the phone. And he was like, nah, don't worry about it. It's not going to be anything like that. It's not going to be anything like that. So I get the phone, and mind you, y'all, I have nothing but respect for these people. I don't even curse in front of these people. You feel me? It's a respect thing. I respect my elders to the fullest until you disrespect me. But I would never put my hands on none of his people. So anywho, he decides to call her and was like, yeah, let her know such and such and such and such. So she was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna talk to her. So I get on the phone with her and she's like, I said, hello. She's like, bitch, don't worry about where the fuck he was at and all this and that, woo woo. So I'm like, hold up. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna deal with this. So I gave him his phone back and she decides, okay, whatever she told him and shit. So, boom, he gets off the phone with her. Me and him trying to work everything out. And I'm trying to pack my shit and get the fuck out. Excuse me, y'all. So I pack my shit and I'm trying to get the fuck up out of there. And because like I told y'all, now this have me living different places and having to leave so much, it have formed something in me that I have these type of issues where I push people away, or it don't even take for a motherfucker to tell me to leave anymore before I already got my shit packed and ready to fucking go. Like, I will damn near leave. I will leave your ass. I have leaving issues. So, the smallest thing can happen. I'm just going to be like, yeah, I'm finna go. I don't give a fuck. I don't know what it is. Why do I do that? But yeah. So I was packing my shit, and next thing you know, about 20 minutes later, as I'm getting my shit at the door, my ride is, on the way and shit. They was handling some business, and my best friend was gonna come get me. So we hear the doorbell ring, and before he can go open the door, the fucking door flies open, y'all. It just flies the fuck open. So in come this bitch, and she getting all in my face. Yeah, bitch, let's go outside in the streets. We gonna do. We gonna do. I'm like, what is you talking about? Like, I was like, you know what? I have nothing but respect for you, and I don't even know what you got going on, but I'm not looking for no trouble. So yeah, all I was trying to do was leave. And so as I'm still packing my shit, she's following me throughout the house and shit, and she's trying to make me bump into her. She's bumping into me, and she's steady talking shit and antagonizing me, humiliating me while I'm walking through the house, minding my own motherfucking business, on the goddamn phone, by the way, with my best friend that was supposed to come pick me up, because I called him when she got there. And I'm like, I don't understand what's wrong with this lady. I have been nothing but nice and respectful to her, and now she's trying to fight me for whatever fucking reason. Never have I ever disrespected this woman in any way, form, or fashion. For her to come at me like this. So I'm just like, well, what the fuck? So she ends up, it came to a point after she bumped into me and stuff, and then she kind of like shoved me when I fucking walked past. I was trying to be the bigger person, y'all. That's why I didn't say shit this whole fucking time. Because if she was anybody motherfucking else, she would have got dead right there, right then and motherfucking there. So she pushes me, and that's where I drew the fucking line. Don't put your motherfucking hands on me. And that's exactly what I told her. And she get out of my face, bitch, I'll do it again. Bitch, I'll do it again. Oh, okay. So she end up, next thing, before I could even think or just, I said, bang, right upside her motherfucking head. Next thing you know, we tussling. And then she's bigger. She's way bigger than me. She's like kind of big. Like, I don't want to say fat, but she was like bigger. And she fucking like, some way, somehow, she's just like, she fell on me, and I was pregnant at the time too, y'all. I left that out. I had got pregnant again after my baby was born. And I ended up losing the baby this day. So she fell on my stomach, and I ended up having a miscarriage. So I ended up having a miscarriage. I ended up whooping her ass. She had like her little titties all hanging out and her motherfucking hair all patchy and shit. Y'all, it was crazy. And I ended up after that leaving, and I took all my shit back to my father's house. And I went back over there, and it became to a point where I'm like, okay, I need help, I had the baby, and like I said, I was already going through a miscarriage. I didn't have any help because now my child's father was out of the picture. Because of his family situation, especially after me and his auntie just fought. So that really fucked shit up. It was a very, 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 very vulnerable moment for him. His mom had just died, you guys. So we was also engaged at the time, and because me and his auntie fought, he, broke it off with me. And then I ended up, we stopped talking. And like I said, shit, I just was stuck with a fucking baby by my goddamn self. So any of y'all that was on like Snapchat, y'all probably know what I'm finna get to talking about. So I ended up asking my parents for help first. I asked my stepmom and I asked my father. And my dad was like, no, I'm not going to sit there and watch your daughter because she cries every time she's with me. I'm like, well, you never take the time to even understand her, to even know why she's crying in the first place. You don't even take the time to get to know her. Like, you only held her like fucking twice since she's been born, and she was only like I think she was like maybe 2 months or maybe a month. And so, no, I was there since she was born, actually, because he was into it because of his family. And yeah, my dad wouldn't watch her for me. My stepmom, her hours didn't add up, so she didn't help watch the baby for me. And his family wasn't trying to help me watch the baby because they swore up and down that it wasn't his child. So I had no help, y'all. I had nowhere to turn. So you know what the fuck I did? I got my ass on that pole. Fuck you talking about? You already motherfucking know. I got my ass on that motherfucking pole, y'all. I ended up, so it came to a point, I didn't have no help watching her. And I didn't know what I was going to do. You know, the money I put away before she got there, I ended up, you know, spending it all on her the older she was getting. And then it came to a point where she started getting ready to walk. And she needed a bouncer. And I needed the money for it. Shit, nobody was going to get that shit for me. It was just me, you guys. So, shit, I ended up going and I ended up having to make the money so my baby could have the shit that she fucking needed. So damn right, I was like, okay, fine. You guys work all day. If nobody's gonna help me get a job, so the way the schedule was set up for my father, he gets up at like 7 in the morning and doesn't get back till about 6 in the afternoon. And then by the time he got back, my stepmom would be having to leave to go to work, and she wouldn't get off till like 11, 12 o'clock at night. What fucking job can you go into that late, you know? So I was like, okay, the only other job that I can do, and then I didn't have a car at the time. My car was messed up. So I was like, well, I didn't know what I was going to do. So I ended up asking my best friend to help me get to places, and I went to a couple of clubs, and then I ended up being a dancer, and then I ended up, that shit became hard, so I decided to do not necessarily OnlyFans, but you know, y'all ain't fucking stupid. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like when you get on Snapchat and you just shaking your ass and you doing what you gotta do, you know, get your money. Like, yeah, I had to do what I had to do, y'all. My baby needed shit, and I refused to stand on the goddamn corner with a motherfucking sign, bitch. Any way possible, I would always make a way for my babies. I'm a motherfucking hustler out here. I don't care what nobody say. So I ended up going and doing that shit, and then I ended up doing like I said, the little OnlyFans. But I only did it on Snapchat because I was too insecure. I'm not that, like I said, y'all, I don't like that shit. I don't like that I had to do that, but I would rather make a fool out of myself if it comes down to my baby having the things that she needs. So, yeah, y'all, I did that. And so, around this time, it took about a couple of weeks of me doing it. Maybe like 2 weeks, right? So, I ended up going out one night, trying to go to the club. And then, I was talking to my stepmother about it. I don't know if she said something to my dad or if... Apparently, what had happened was... one of my cousins must have seen something on Snapchat and went back to my father and told him that I'm being a hoe, basically. So, mind you, I was 21 at the time. So, I went to the club one night and I came back to my father's house and I was just getting ready to go up the stairs. It was like maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And my dad and my stepmom was down in the kitchen and shit. My baby was upstairs asleep. The only time that I could go out and work, y'all, was when she was asleep, like for the night. So I ended up, like I said, coming in. And as I'm coming in, my father says, "What are you doing with your life these days?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "What are you doing with yourself? So you out here being a stripper?" I said, honestly, Dad, I am not proud of it, but yes, I am, because I have to do what I have to do. You all said that you weren't going to help me watch her. And he said, damn right, that's not my child. I said, yeah, but that's your grandchild. He was like, okay, but you had her, so you are responsible. I said, I understand that. That's why I'm out here. And I said, you're coming at me. He was like, I'm a disgrace to the family and I'm an embarrassment. No, his words were, you're an embarrassment to the family. And if you're going to do that shit in my house, you can get your shit and your baby and get the fuck out. So I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Like, why don't you respect the fact that I'm out here doing something for my child by myself? You see what I just went through. I just lost my fiance. I just sat there and lost a baby. I don't have no help whatsoever, so I'm fucking stressing. You think I want to do this shit? The fuck? So anywho, So after that, when I told him that, my father decides he wants to pull his pants up, get in my face like he's about to hit me. So he's trying to charge at me. My stepmom is holding him back, and he telling me, get the fuck out of my motherfucking house right goddamn now. So I'm just crying, and I'm just like, why are you always trying to come fight me like I'm a man, bro? Why are you trying to fight me like I'm a man? I didn't even do nothing. I'm just trying to do the best I can for my child. Y'all just don't understand. This is just fucking me up, just reliving this shit. I hate it so bad. I want to get over this part of my life, y'all. So I'm going to need y'all to work with me in these emotions. I'm sorry. But yeah, so that happens. And I ended up I called the police because I am tired of my father putting his hands on me, y'all. I may look like a motherfucking dude sometimes, but I'm not a fucking man. I was not born a man. None of that shit. So you coming at me, that shit, it hurts my feelings. I'm your only daughter. You feel me? Your father should not put his hands on his daughter. He should be protecting her, but for no reason you charging at me. That shit hurts my fucking feelings. So damn right, I am going to expose you, and I don't care how you feel about it, because the world needs to know what type of guy that you are. So anywho, I ended up having to call the police, and then I ended up having to leave. I ended up leaving with my baby, and I ended up having to go. I didn't have anywhere to go, y'all, so I had to go stay with some friends. And I don't like to welcome my stay or be a burden on anyone, so I had 2 different friends that I would go like every other day, flip flop back to their house. But my whole time I'm thinking, I'm stressing. I'm like, I kind of was going through a little postpartum at the time from the baby that I just lost a few. Mind you, all of this kind of happened like a few days prior, like, losing my fiance and getting, into the fight and losing the baby. And so all this happened within like a couple of days. And I went to stay with my dad, like I said, and then that shit happened. So I ended up having to go stay with 2 friends, like on and off each other day. I go stay with the other person. And then the girl that I was staying with at the time, she had like 3 kids too. And I asked her, what is it that I can do? How can I help myself? I really need help. I don't know what to do. And I told her, I don't want to stay with people my whole fucking life. I want to have my own shit. And so she ended up, convincing me, hey, go to a shelter. So I ended up calling the fucking number, 311 number or whatever. And I ended up going to this nasty ass shelter, y'all. And it was horrible. It was absolutely motherfucking horrible. When I got there, it was weird the way it was set up. It's like them office cubicles, like when people work in the little fucking spaces, but they connected and shit. It was like those set up, and then in between the little fucking cubicles was like 2 bunk beds on each side. There was nothing fucking in the opening where you could just see anybody walking past and they could see your ass, and they can take your shit if they want to, and they do steal in there. They had blood stains on the mattresses, y'all. They had bed bugs. They had roaches every motherfucking where. Like I said, I went to the bathroom. The bathroom was filthy. Tampons on the motherfucking floor. Bloody shit all in the little kid tubs and shit. I couldn't do it. All of the motherfucking kids that was in there were sick from fucking COVID or something. They was sick as hell. And my baby was the youngest one there at the time. So yeah, keep up with me. All this is going on right within a couple of days. So, excuse me, I'm sorry. So I ended up going and I stayed one night and I just couldn't do it, y'all. I had to get the fuck up out of there. I woke up that next morning and there was some girls walking past. I just so happened to. I didn't even know these bitches, y'all. These random strangers. I prayed that whole night. I cried. And I prayed and I cried. And I woke up that morning and those girls was like, oh, hell no. I ain't standing this motherfucker. This bitch is filthy. I'm like, bro, they was like, hell no, it's another motherfucking shelter somewhere else we can go to, because I ain't standing this motherfucker. I'm like, oh, I didn't know it was other shelters we could go to. I'm finna ride with y'all. They was like, come on, your baby is way too young to be up in here. Don't keep your baby in this shit. So, you know what? I left with these bitches. Mind you, I don't know these hoes. It's like 4 of them. But they wasn't, up to no good or nothing. They was genuine ass people, and we all had children. We all had babies on our hips. Like, one girl had 3 babies, one had 2, 2 of them had 1. So we ended up walking to like this close ass McDonald's and shit. And also, I left out that night. I took a picture. Sometimes I take pictures because I know I said that I wanted to talk about it one day, and I ended up taking a picture of that place, and I put like this little crying emoji. And my sister's auntie, because we had different fathers, so and the same mother. So my sister's auntie on her father's side ended up seeing the picture that I took because I accidentally posted it to Snapchat, and she was like, "Baby, where you at?" And I was like, "Ooh." It's like, I'm glad she said something because it made me like, oh shit, I didn't mean to fucking post that. So I ended up taking it down. Because I don't like people feeling sorry for me, y'all. So that's why I don't really call out for help and shit. So I ended up telling her where the hell I was at. And she was like, okay, well, you need to tell your mom. And I said, I'm not telling my mama anything because I don't want to stay with her. I just know it's not going to be well. I just know she's going to try to take my baby. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. She was like, well, if you don't say something to her before the end of today, then I will. And I'm like, fuck. So I didn't say shit. And next thing I know, a couple hours later, my mother is calling me. And so I answer the phone. Hello. She's, where are you? And I'm at the shelter. Why are you at the shelter? You're not going to be in the shelter with the baby and all this and that and woo da da da. So I had to explain to her. Dad found out that I was dancing. Sorry, y'all, my phone trying to die. Sorry, I was, he found out I was dancing. It has to do what I needed to do to get a job. He wouldn't help me and all this shit. So she was like, you know what? I'm going to fly you on the next plane coming out. So I'm like, okay. So she's like, go get on the bus right now. And then, let me get you out here. So boom, I get on the motherfucking plane and I'm out there within 5 hours. Or 3. I'm sorry, 3. So I get up there. And I was so motherfucking happy when I first got there because I finally felt a little bit of relief. I'm like, okay, my sister's here, my stepdad's here, and my mother's here. Now I can maybe have a little piece of a break. And yeah, I'm like, maybe I can have a little piece of a break out in Memphis and maybe I can get a real job and shit. So y'all, I started immediately getting on the ball. Like, maybe the first 2 days, like, I just, bullshitted and was enjoying being around them. And by day 3, I already, started getting jobs lined up. I was about to start working at the Amazon or whatever in Horn Lake. So I ended up going and I'm trying to think. Day 3, me and my sister got into it over some super, super, super petty ass shit, y'all. Mind you, my sister was dealing with cancer and shit, so sometimes, like, the medicines that she was taking would kind of, like, she just was tired, y'all. She been fighting with cancer for, like, a very long motherfucking time. A very long time. Since she was, like, 14, and like I said, I was, like, fucking 21, so she was maybe, like, 23 at the time. And so she's like, her hormones and shit is all over the place, and I'm going through motherfucking postpartum. It's just not mixing, it's siblings, how siblings is. We got into some stupid argument, and then my mom ends up calling, and this is why I don't fuck with my mom, because she does this shit. She does favoritism. Every time we used to get beat as a child, I always got shit worse. I had always had the punishments worse. Like, always. It never fails. And then everybody, I was the fucking black sheep. Everybody team up on me and shit. I'm always the fucking problem child. Everywhere I go, don't nobody fucking like me. I mean, fuck that shit. So fucking, something happens. My mom calls my sister and was like, she was gonna call me because she was so excited to talk to the baby and shit on the phone while she's at work. She's a police officer in Memphis. So she ends up calling me, and me and my sister are in the middle of arguing. She's like, okay, well, Ashanti, you're the fucking problem, and it's just coming at me. And I'm like, bruh, I don't need this right now. Like, first of all, me and her already arguing, and I don't feel like dealing with this. And now you're coming at me too. I'm not about to argue with y'all, excuse me, in front of my baby. And you know, my mom was like, well, you need to hear it because that's your fucking problem and all this and that shit. I said, so I hung the fuck up on her ass because I'm not about to do this shit. And it just came to a point where my sister would not leave me alone. She didn't understand. She didn't get it. I was going through a lot at this time. You feel me? I just lost my fiance. I just lost a baby. I just sat there and got put out of my daddy house. I had to strip. Then I turned around and had to stay in a shelter facing homelessness. I don't know where me and my baby's going to go. I'm petrified that my baby's going to get taken from me because I didn't have nowhere to fucking go. And now I'm here and I knew that this wasn't going to work out. And so she's like antagonizing me through the whole fucking house. Everywhere I'm trying to walk, she's following me. Everywhere I'm going, she's following me and she's yelling at me. So it came to a point I walked outside to try to just woosah. She follows me outside and she's yelling at me so fucking loud that the neighbors are coming outside faking like they walking their dogs and shit to come be nosy. And it was so embarrassing, y'all, humiliating. So you guys, I ended up getting, like I said, that's the worst depression I have ever been through in my life. So it came to a point where I'm like, just stop, give me a second, just shut the fuck up. And she wouldn't stop. My mom was not stopping. So I just was like, ugh, like I want to fucking die. So I poured a cup of bleach. I put that cup to my lips and I was about to drink it. And I don't know what it was, y'all. I swear. It's like my baby was like in my sister's room, like way down the hallway. And I was in the kitchen and I caught like a glimpse, like something, God, the angels, something made me look at my baby. I looked at my baby and I poured that cup down the sink. I was like, okay. So my sister saw me about to drink the fucking cup of bleach at first. She ends up calling my mother and telling her. So my mom's like, oh, you're crazy. You need to go to the mental hospital. There's something fucking wrong with you. And I'll keep the baby and you need to go get some help. There's something wrong with you. And so she comes rushing home and she's trying to tell my sister to call the fucking police on me. And I'm like, what? So my sister ends up telling me that my mom's trying to make her fucking call the goddamn police on me, but she was like, she's not going to do that. So my mom comes home, and when she comes home within like 15 minutes, she's like, Melissa, did you do what I told you to do? And she was like, I said, Mom, she already told me that you said you're going to call the police on me. There's no point, and I'm not going to no crazy facility because there's nothing wrong with me. I am depressed right now. I'm going through a lot. And she's like, yeah, you need help. You need some serious help. All this and that. So, boom. My mother calls the motherfucking police. So, boom. So, like 6 fucking squad cars pull up and shit. They all come in the motherfucking house. So, boom. This is the first time, y'all. I have never in my life got disrespectful with my mother. And excuse my emotions because I'm probably about to get mad when I tell this because it pisses me off. So, she's like, yeah, she's crazy. She needs help. Y'all need to take her to the... And I just went the fuck off, y'all. I got in her motherfucking face and I said, I knew I shouldn't have came my ass down here because every time I fucking get around your ass, you sit there and we can't never get along longer than 5 fucking minutes. And I knew you was gonna try to take my baby. I knew. That's why I didn't want to come down in the first motherfucking place. So she gets a, oh, well, you think I'm gonna take? I said, you got me fucked up. You think you finna take my motherfucking baby, bitch? I've been through a lot. And you think you gonna take me down? You not taking me nowhere, G. I couldn't take that shit no more, y'all. I knew that she was gonna try to take my baby from me. I just knew it, y'all. I swear I did. So that ends up happening, and she ends up fucking trying to convince the police that I'm crazy. And so I break down, I calm down, woosah, and I ended up talking to one of the officers one-on-one. After I calmed down, then some of the officers came back to listen in, and I'm explaining to them everything I just fucking went through within a matter of a fucking week, bro. So they was like, well, I understand, ma'am, you're very young and you just went through a lot. Y'all, I was 21 years old going through all of this in a matter of a fucking week. Who wouldn't be fucking stressing out and losing their goddamn mind? The only thing I had left was my fucking baby. So goddamn right, I'ma snap the fuck out. You think you gonna take my motherfucking child from me? Bitch, I carried that motherfucker for 9 months. I did that. I got sick for that baby. That is mine. You're not taking my shit. Fuck is you talking about? So that shit ends up happening, and they was like, okay, you're 21 years old. They was like, well, do you want to leave? I said, I would love to get the fuck up out of here because I knew better than to come down here in the first place. I said, I should have, I was like, you know what? I said, if I leave, can my baby come with me? They said not to no, psychiatric ward. And I said, okay, well, no, I'm not going anywhere. And so she was like, okay, well, you're old enough to make your own decisions. And if you feel like you're fully capable of taking care of your child and doing things that you need to do, then you'll be all right. Just calm down with the, stress levels a little bit and think before you, do stuff like that. And so I was like, you know what? Okay. So they was about to get ready to leave. And then my mama was like, well, what if we could, so y'all just not gonna take her? They was like, no, we can't take her against her will. Plus, she seems perfectly fine. Like, all they're gonna do is give her shots and stuff like that, and she doesn't seem to need that type of stuff. My mama was like, so you gonna tell me? So if I come back in and she dead, I said, why would I kill myself next to my baby? So the people ended up leaving because they just was like, you wasted that fucking time. And my mom was still getting pissed off because they wouldn't take me. So then she ends up trying to talk to them and convince them longer. And they was like, absolutely the fuck not. And they started to see that she's the crazy motherfucker. It's never me. It's these motherfuckers surrounding me. It's a bunch of crazy motherfuckers. And the first thing they do is try to point the finger. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy. Nah, bitch, when I snap out on you hoes, then I'm motherfucking crazy. Until you motherfuckers, y'all need to look in the mirror. I get tired of that shit, bro. I really do. So she ends up coming back, and y'all, let me tell y'all how crazy that my mother is. So this bitch, she comes back to the fucking back room where we was laying at, and me and my baby, and I'm just like, Mom, right now, I just need to pray. So I just give me some time. And here she go, no, you need help, you're crazy, all this and that, all this and that. I'm like, Mom, just let me pray. Just let me pray. I don't care, just let me pray. So I'm crying. I'm like, just let me pray to God. So she ends up, so she leaves for a minute and I'm praying. She comes back again and she's like, just let the baby come sleep in my room. Bitch, is you out your motherfucking mind? Do you not just see what you just did 2 seconds ago? That's a huge problem. My baby's not sleeping with you. Well, she's just going to be in the, no. My baby's gonna sleep right here next to me where the fuck she needs to be because I don't trust you, bitch. The fuck? I wake up and my baby be gone, I'ma kill you motherfuckers in here. And I'm sorry, God, that's the truth. Y'all got me fucked up. So my fucking, so that ends up happening. She leaves. She gets mad because I wouldn't let the baby sleep with her. She goes back to work, and the next morning, I'm up, me and the baby's awake, we're sitting up, it's about like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. My mom decides to come back there and where we were at, and she's like, she was like, you need to go ahead and pack your things. I decided that since you feel like I'm going to take your child, that I'm going to buy you a plane ticket and you're just going to have to figure out where to go. Mind you guys, this is only day 4. Day 4 is just starting of me being down in Mississippi. So I ended up, I'm like, bruh, this is even more added to the plate. I'm pissed off because I just started getting comfortable. I just found the job. I just started getting my life together. And now the rug swept from under my motherfucking feet. So you know what? So I ended up leaving and she bought me a ticket. I had to sit at the airport for like 4 fucking hours before the plane came, which I didn't give a damn as long as I was away from that bitch. So I ended up leaving. She stopped talking to me for a while, and I ended up, I didn't know where I was going to go, y'all. I did not know where me and my baby was going to go. My plan was to get my ass to that airport and that was it for me and my baby. That was the plan. So we get to the airport, we get over to Midway, and I ended up calling the girl that I was staying with, before the shelter, the one that convinced me to go. And she was like, I'm on my way to pick you up right now because I told you not to take your ass down. Everybody knows in my friend group how my mother is. Everybody in my family knows how my mother is. Nobody like her because she is the way that she is. So everybody told me not to go down there. And like I said, I knew better than to go down there. And with like a fucking dumbass. And so my friend came and got me. Um, and within like a couple of, I don't know, within like maybe a week, I got a phone call, and it was a lady, and she was like, "Hey, this is a program. I said that you was at the shelter, and she was like something about like, she had an apartment ready for me," and I'm like, "Bitch, that's not ready for me. Stop fucking playing." Yeah, I was like, "Damn, she playing right now." She was like, "No, for real." I'm like, "Damn, so what is this?" So it was some kind of like little housing subsidy program. And that little program, and it was like something where they put you in a house, or you pick the place and you're there in the program for like 2 years. So I ended up, getting in the program, and then boom, found me a place, and within like 2 weeks I was moved in and I was straight. So then boom, around that time, me and my baby daddy ended up getting to talking, and we got back cool and shit, and then he ended up coming to staying or whatever, and he started, we started talking about what was really going the fuck on, the misunderstanding and everything, and how it was really going on. And that's how we figured out that it was a bunch of he said, she said bullshit. So we ended up, after that, realizing who the fuck we should have been mad at in the first place. So yeah, so we ended up getting back together. The grandma acts like she's all cool and shit, and then the next minute she don't want to be cool. It was a lot of stressful shit, y'all. They never did anything for my kid or none of that. So boom, he comes back, and after a couple of months, I get pregnant again. So I get pregnant, and this time I'm pregnant with my baby Harmony, and this time the family was kind of fake and phony. Like, nobody was really happy for me, for real. Nobody helped me do a baby shower. My family, I tried to do gender reveals and parties and shit. Nobody wanted to go. So, yeah, it was just kind of, I ended up, so when I moved into the city, and I was living on 79th. That's up in the hood in Chicago. Anybody in from Chicago, y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. So yeah, I was staying on 79th, right in the motherfucking hood in Dobson, 79th and Dobson, and I ended up staying there, and it was fucking horrible. When I got pregnant with Harmony, I started getting anxiety so bad because they was shooting outside the window. I saw my motherfucking next door neighbor, like literally from the fence, the next door neighbor, like burn the fuck up like some goddamn barbecue one night, y'all. They had to carry this nigga on a motherfucking whatever the hell stretcher thing, and he was smoking, like literally fucking smoking, y'all. And it was crazy. It was just way too much going on. And then so towards like my 6th month of my pregnancy, my sister died. I was having a gathering, and it was July 8th. I was having a little gathering, and just was, partying and shit, kicking it for no reason. I think it was like for the 4th. And I ended up having some people over, and shit, I got a call early that morning before I invited people over, and my stepdad was calling me, and he was like, "Hey, your sister not doing too good." Nobody told me that my sister was in the hospital. I didn't even know shit. I'm thinking she alright. And fucking, he calls me. He was like, "Yeah, she's not doing too good. Your sister want to talk to you, and she want to talk to Hope and stuff." And I said, "Okay, bet." So I'm talking to her. She's got like this fucking tube in her throat, mask on her face, just tubes everywhere. And it just, you guys, it was so bad. I ain't never want to see her like that. And I don't even want to think about it. So I fucking talked to her, and I knew it. I said it to, after this, like I said, my fiance ended up becoming back, engaged. And I told him that morning, I said, you know what? I got a feeling that I'm going to get that call today. And as bad as I don't want to say it, I don't know, something ain't right. Because I had a dream that night. It was about my sister, and that it was like that she was trying to, we was going to a gas station, and then afterwards, I was looking for her, and that's what happened in the dream. So when I woke up that morning, I'm just like, damn, like looking for my sister and shit. So I just kind of knew. And after the people came over, we kicking it. I done cooked and did it big. We done barbecued and shit. And I get that call about 8 o'clock at night. Yeah, I said, how my sister doing? I called at like 7:30, and I'm like, damn, how my sister doing? They said she's still doing the same or whatever. She's in and out, she keep passing away, but they keep bringing her back. So she was on like machines, and she turned around and he called me back. It was like she didn't make it, and I was so fucking like shook. I didn't know what to do. So I started smoking. I started smoking through my pregnancy because if I stressed y'all, if I let that get to me, that I wouldn't be here. I would not be here because I love my sister, y'all, and I love that bitch dearly, bro. Dearly, and I miss her so fucking much. But yeah, that shit happened, and fucking after that, 3 days later, guess what happens, y'all? I'm still living in the hood. Some asshole steals the fucking car. They stole my motherfucking car from right in front of the goddamn house. My anxiety attacks started going crazy. I'm like, I gotta get me and my kids the fuck up out of here. I'm not having another baby come back to this place. Absolutely not. Hell no. Bullet holes in my window and shit. Fuck no. Nope. Within a couple of months, we was out of there. I ended up moving us to Glenwood, Illinois. And everything was really nice over there. And I ended up going to a church that was up the street. And they threw a baby shower for me. I didn't know how I was going to get shit for my baby. My family didn't do a goddamn thing for me. Them strangers at a church that did not fucking know shit about me or my children or my fiance at the time. And yeah, no, that shit was... It was really nice of them. So, couple weeks later, before the move to Glenwood and shit, I go down to the funeral for my sister, and it was horrible. It was really fucking horrible, and I don't like funerals to this day because of that. And my mom treated me like shit the whole time I was there. She did not hug me one time. Nobody asked me if I was okay while I was sitting there crying, looking at my sister. I was the only one there pregnant. My dad was there. He didn't come over and console me. Nobody did anything but now, at this point, we are married now. And before, we got married on Christmas of 2022. So we was already married at this time. And he was the only one that was there with me, that was rubbing me on my back and making sure that I was okay the whole every fucking step of the way, prayed with me and everything. So excuse me. And I was just glad to have him. My mom did me dead ass fucking wrong. When I was down there, I wanted to hang out with her, and the whole time, every time I asked her, I said, hey Ma, I'm down here, can we at least do something, since May's gone? It's just, we gotta make this, a little something. And she went the fuck off on me and told me that she had better shit to do, and she was trying to plan out the funeral, and she didn't have time for hanging out. But then that same night after the funeral, she ended up going out on Beale Street with all the fucking family and shit, but didn't want to do a goddamn thing with me. So, fuck that shit. So then, boom, 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 fast forward. I ended up moving to Glenwood, and then people did the baby shower for me, and it was cool, It was really cool the time that I stayed out there, but I had to endure a lot of different things. It was another point where I was pregnant with one of my children, and my father ended up he put his hands on me one day because me and my husband were having a disagreement about how we should save money up for the baby. When the baby, I said that I think that we should start saving while I was pregnant. I was like 5 months pregnant. I'm like, we should start putting money away before the baby gets here. And he was like, well, I think that you should, he was like, I think that we should wait till the baby gets here to start putting money away. I'm like, bro, that's just not smart. So I asked my dad's opinion. My dad gets overly heated and starts humiliating me and yelling at me and just talking at me and screaming and embarrassing me. So I was just like, you know what, you being kind of harsh about it. I would rather talk to my stepmom about it. He was like, sit your ass down and listen to what the fuck I'm saying. I'm like, I would just rather talk to her about it because she's not going to make me feel like I'm stupid and don't know what I'm talking about. So, I end up trying to go up the stairs and he grabs me by my arm and slams me into the fucking chair. Mind you, I'm pregnant at the time. And he fucking slammed me down and my hormones was high and I had this big ass cup with a handle like a gallon cup and it was like aluminum and I whacked his ass in the head with it. So he picked me up by my motherfucking clothes and dragged me down some stairs and tried to slam me to the fucking floor, y'all. And if I did not know how to make myself stand up a certain way, y'all, he would have slammed me and I could have lost my child. So I started screaming for my stepmom and shit. My fiance at the time, he was sitting up and he saw it, but he was in such shock because it happened so fucking fast. Nobody knew what to do. So my stepmom ends up coming down, breaking up the fight. We ended up having to leave. My dad told me to get the fuck out and calling me all these names and shit, y'all. But I ain't even gonna make this about them. My family have taught me how to really fucking hate people, and it makes me disassociate from a lot of people. So y'all don't really see me on the internet because I've been going through so fucking much and I don't know how to talk about it because when I talk to people about it, they tell me I'm crazy. So I decided I was just gonna save it all up for one day and just fucking talk about it and blast that shit out. My mother and my dad were horrible people and they played horrible characters in my life, and honestly I'm glad that I've gotten to a point now that I don't even have to deal with that shit anymore. But yeah, I'm gonna stop it right here because this video is pretty fucking long. I still got some talking to do, but you know what, I'm gonna shut the fuck up. But if y'all do like it, if y'all want to hear some more shit, I'll probably make the last video like my last fucking video on this topic, and then we gonna talk about some crazy shit. Like, I got so much shit to tell y'all. Like, oh my god, y'all, it's like a never ending fucking story, but it's so funny. But yeah, I love y'all. Thank y'all for the support. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and y'all share and shit. And yeah, keep watching me, y'all. Keep fucking watching me. All right, y'all.